Okay, so welcome everyone. Nice to see you all. We're going to go back to basics this morning and we're going to look at the opening exercise. And we're going to start with the feet. I always like doing the feet. So I'm just going to tip my computer, so you're not going to be able to see all of me. You'll just see the lower half of me when we start, okay? So are you all ready? Yeah, I think so, yeah, some thumbs up. Okay. So, let's start with one foot in front of the other. Take your back foot and curl your toes under and then shift your weight back. So we're stretching the front of our foot. And if you've been in my sessions before, we've been doing this before, stretching the front of the foot. Our feet are very much underused these days, and especially if we wear hard shoes and walk around on flat surfaces. It's not always the thing that's best for our feet. Katie, I can see that you're still highlighted. I'm not sure if the video will pick me up or it's going to be picking you up. Okay, and then change sides. Let's go to the other side. Put the front of your foot on the mat or your floor, your carpet, wherever you are, and then shift your body weight back to stretch the front of your foot. So we're on the other side now. We've done one side, we're on the other side. And as you're doing this, you can imagine your front foot, the toes are spreading out, and you are grounding down through that foot. So nice and stable, connecting to the earth, grounding down, and that gives you your vertical. That helps to give you your vertical. Okay, we're going to go back to the first foot, but this time we're going to put the toes down, the bottom of the toes down, and push the ball of our foot backwards. So it's like we're doing this to the ball of our foot. So we're stretching underneath our toes this time. And if you want to, you can move your heel in and out to give you a different expression of the stretch. So really getting into all the little muscles that we often neglect. We want to say hello, wake them up. And again, you can feel your front foot grounding down. Your toes are soft. And the grounding helps give us our vertical. Good, and then change sides. So it's the toes on the floor, balls of the feet are up, and balls of the foot are trying to go behind you and down a little bit, but you're not letting them sit on the floor because you don't get much of a stretch. We're aiming for a stretch and a nice feeling underneath our toes. And you can start moving your heel out and in, just to make sure from the big toe to the little toe, you get into all those places. Okay, good. And then coming with your feet hip width apart. I know in the opening exercise we normally have our feet together, but let's just have a go at hip width apart. And spread your toes out nice and wide, and then make sure you can lift your toes so you're not having your weight forward and your toes aren't gripping the floor. Have your weight back and then lift your big toes. So lift them up in the air and you're aiming for them to go straight up rather than out to the side. So lift your toes up, the big toes, and then the next toe along, and then the next one, and the next one, until you get to your little toe. All your toes are lifted, you're grounded through the heels, and then put down your toes one by one, little toe all the way to big toe, little toe all the way to big toe. And we'll do that again, and as you're doing it, check that your shoulders are relaxed, shoulders are dropping down your back. Check that your pelvis is level and your rib cage is lifted from the back. Ground through the heel, and we're just aiming to pick up our toes and put them down again in order from the big toe to the little toe, and then put them back down to the big toe. Okay, and then relax your feet down. Just check that your toes are still liftable and they are spread out. And then go ahead and push your weight into the balls of your feet and bring your heels off the floor. And when your heels are off the floor, just check that your toes are still loose and you're not gripping really tightly with your toes. We want to imagine here, that we're grounding through the balls of our feet. The vertical column around us is keeping us upright. The space around us can keep us upright. Now, let's bring our heels back down. Lift our heels up again, and what we want to check for is that we're not going out to the side. This is a common tendency for me sometimes, especially when I lose balance. We want to bring our heels in line with the rest of our feet. So just check, as we go up and down now, just go up and down a few times, check that we're actually got our ankles in line with our feet. And we don't want to be going out to the side. We want to keep everything in line. We want to be grounded through the balls of our feet. We want our toes spread. Toes aren't gripping tightly. Shoulders relaxed, rib cage lifted, long neck at the back, grounding through the ball of your foot. Okay, then I'm going to come and speak to you all. What I'd like for the next bit is either that you have a wall where there's enough space above your head to straighten up your arms and you can get your whole back against the wall, or what I'm going to do is lay down on the floor. I can show you a bit more easily. So I'm going to lay down on the floor and you can get yourself to either a wall or a floor. If you've got a jumper or something, then go ahead and put that under your head if you're laying on the floor. So I've got a towel, I'm going to lay down on the floor. I'm going to go backwards a bit so you can see me a bit easier. Okay, so if you're laying on the floor, just allow yourself to be heavy and relaxed. If you're against the wall, you're just standing vertical against the wall. Then, what I'd like you to imagine is your fingertips reach down towards your feet and you brush your fingertips along the floor, both arms coming up to vertical, brushing your fingertips along. Keep going across the ceiling till your fingertips reach overhead. Now, allow your arms to rest here. And just check what's happened to your rib cage. Has your rib cage popped up? If so, we want to get that rib cage down so we have the shoulders doing the work of the shoulders and the rib cage doesn't join in. In Bothmer movement, we want every part to do its job, like a well-played orchestra. not the strings doing the part of the flute or something. So, check, has your rib cage lifted up? Your arms are straight, they're above your head, and if your ribs have lifted up, we don't simply just want to use our muscles to bring them down, because we can work with the space around us. So imagine this space in front of you, just bringing those ribs down, and imagine having a rib cage lift at the back to create the space at the back of your body and to allow your ribs just to float down and come in line at the front. And here, your arms might have lifted off the wall or the floor slightly, but you get more of a stretch in your shoulders, okay? So we're aiming for the shoulders to do the shoulder work, the ribs to be lifted and level. Don't pop your ribs out. If they're up here, use that space to bring them down and create space at the back to lift your rib cage. Arms are straight, palms are facing each other above your head. And just relax here for a moment. Remember this position when we go to do our opening exercise. We're staying here, we're still here, arms above your head. Your rib cage is level. You're not forcing anything with your muscles, but you're using the space around you to allow you to be in the right alignment. And then reaching your fingertips over your head, over in front of you, reaching your fingertips down, bringing your arms down by your side. We'll lift them again and be conscious of our ribs. So lifting your rib cage at the back, creating this, allowing this space to come towards you to have your flat ribs. And then reaching your fingertips down along the floor, bring your arms overhead, reach your fingertips overhead, palms facing each other, relax your shoulders, check that your rib cage is doing the right job and not trying to do the job of the shoulders. Allow your shoulders to relax. Your arms can be straight here at the elbow. So if you're bending at the elbow, your hands will probably meet the wall behind you or the floor, but we're aiming to have straight arms, palms facing each other. Stretching out the shoulders gently. Rib cage is lifted, front of the ribs are down. Use the space around you to create that feeling. And then reaching the wall behind you or the ceiling and reaching with your fingertips, bringing your arms down by your side. Okay, and then we're going to stand back up again. And taking your hand, we're going to stretch our fingers. So stretch one finger, and then the next, and then the next. And you're going to keep doing this while I talk to you about magnetic fields. I got quite interested in magnetic fields the other day because so what we say in Bothmer is space is alive, and magnetic fields is a really nice one to try and explain this to people or convince them that space is alive, because we all know about magnetic fields with the iron filings experiment, and you can see them if you dust a magnet with iron filings. You can see, let's go to the other hand, the magnetic fields around them. And I was thinking, have I ever thought about magnetic fields as I'm doing Bothmer movement? And the answer was yes. There's that lovely moment when your hands come together, you sort of sometimes get that magnetic attraction between your hands. And even just imagining it can help you feel that. So let's put our palms together and try and feel that magnetic attraction. It's like your palms are attracted to each other, and you can feel that pull and you get to here. Okay, and then also there's another space where I like to feel this magnetic attraction, and that's when we bring our arm to horizontal. You can experiment with this, and it's like if your arm is too high, you don't get that feeling. If your arm is too low, you don't get it. If your arm is too far in front of you, you don't get it, or too far behind you. But if your arm is perfectly horizontal, level, then there's this space where you can go, oh, it's this vroom, alignment in this magnetic field that keeps it there. It's this beautiful spot. I know often we talk about resting your arm on the water or the honey beneath you, but you can also have a go at imagining this magnetic field that you slot into that gives you that sort of feeling. I can only describe it as vroom feeling. And then try with the other hand, other arm. So reaching down, reaching your arm away, floating up, and then finding that spot where you have that attraction to the space around you, where your arm is in the right place and you get this kind of magnetized feeling there. And then with both arms, so we're reaching our fingertips away. We're being lifted from underneath. And then feel that space where both arms come into that perfect alignment. And it's like you get this radiation of energy around you, like a magnetic field going, boom, you're in the right place. And just wave them around, up and down, forward and back, to experiment getting this feeling. And obviously, to make the feeling stronger, we can utilize our imagination. If we employ our imagination, then we get a stronger feeling. Okay, and bring your arms down by the side. So we're going to go into the opening exercise, and we're going to go really slowly for our first one. And I'm going to talk you through all the things that we've just been practicing. So, having your feet together, spread your toes out wide. Feel your heels grounded for the moment, and feel the lift in front of you. And before we go into the opening exercise, I just want you to shift your weight forward onto the balls of your feet. And so we're not going up yet, we're just shifting our weight forward. So there's a slight forward movement of your body. And it's like you can feel this excitement, this energy coming up. It's as if you're standing on the edge of an escarpment, and down below you can see the sea and the seashore, and there's hot air rising up the cliff edge, rising up to you, and you feel this hot air coming up, this joy, and you might be able to hear the laughter of the people down below and hear their words, because it's rising up on this hot air. So feel this, expect an energy, and feel this joy about to lift up and lift you off the floor. So you're engaging with this vertical and this uplift before we start the exercise. So shifting our weight forward, feeling that energy lifting us up, then our fingertips reach down, they're drawing our arms out, and as our arms come to horizontal, that magnetic place, our heels are lifted off the floor. And we've got this lovely feeling of flying over our cliff. We've taken off, we're in control. Our toes are not gripping the floor. They are spread out. We're grounding through the ball of our foot. Bring our arms down slowly and the heels come down to ground. But we've still got our feet. There's still that expectant energy, that lift from the front. And let's go again. Feel that excitement building as we lift our arms. Feel that magnetic space where we're in exactly the right place with our arms. Heels are off the floor, toes are not gripping, and coming down. Heels down, shifting your weight forward. Feel that levity drawing you up. Remember our mile-wide gloves. It's a slow turn. Taking in that whole turn. Palms are lifted. And then being drawn up, 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 up. Keeping our rib cage lifted. Ribs down at the front. Ribs lifted at the back. Rib cage is level. Shoulders are doing the work of the shoulders. And draw yourself up, fingers up, to draw yourself out to the side. Feel that magnetic space again, exactly where our arms are supposed to be. Turn our palms, arms coming down by the side, heels down, grounded. Feeling our vertical. Let's go again. So shifting your weight to the front, balls of your feet, feel that expectant energy lifting you up as you start the exercise. Feel that magnetic space coming down, heels down. Rib cage lifted, back of the neck long, toes aren't gripping on the floor, heels are coming up straight and not out to the side. Mile wide turn with our palms. Lifting our arms. Rib cage is lifted so we're not sticking our ribs out at the front. Space between the shoulders and the ears. Lifting up to come out of that. Really reaching out to the periphery. Feel that space, turning, 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 that great big turn. Arms down, heels down. And let's go again in usual speed. And actually I'll stop talking for this one. Good, we'll do two more. Last one. Rib cage lifted. Heels coming up vertically. Reaching out to the periphery. Feeling that magnetic space of where your arms are exactly supposed to be. Ribs stay down at the front. Shoulders doing the work of the shoulders. Really reaching out. Good. Okay. please come to your computer screens. Okay, I've got a quote to share with you, and this was what I discovered yesterday when I was looking around YouTube at magnetic fields. I was getting excited about it. Right, I'll put it in the chat. So this is from Nikola Tesla, and he said he was working with obviously electricity and physics and things. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's Nikola Tesla. And I thought, oh wow, that's exactly what we're doing through movement. We are, with our movement, thinking in terms of energy and frequency and vibration and connection with the space around us. So I thought that was such a lovely quote to use as part of our Bothmer session. Okay, so I can leave you with that today. Very happy to get any feedback from you, and yeah. Great, so I think we can stop the recording there. Thank you to those who are watching again online.